bit quiet tonight, isn't it?
Sorry, I was dozing then. What? I was daydreaming.
Bit quiet tonight, isn't it?
It's all right. Any minute now, I'll cough. It'll be fine.
Yes.
What we're going to talk about tonight then?
Curry. That's it. I've done it now. I haven't had the whole chat's just going to talk about curry all night now.
Oh, yeah. What's your favourite curry then? I got new neighbours, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Not only did they have a housewarming party on Sunday and give us loads of curry left over that they had at the end of the day, I went to my local corner shop earlier on, and the guy, I said, "Oh, what's that nice smell?" He said, "It's curry. I'm having it for my tea. Do you want some? Here's a big chunk of naan bread with some chicken curry in it." I'm like, "Okay."
Oh,
people just feed me when I go into places.
Yeah. Do people think you need feeding up? And
I know it's good.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Yeah, no, honestly, no. You have to tell people, look, I'm not homeless. You know, I always dress like this. I'm not homeless.
In my youth, I had a scruffy look to me, and I did actually once. I was sat on the steps of Manchester Library once, waiting for someone, and somebody had a cup of coffee, and somebody threw 50p into my cup of coffee. I was like, "Oh, cheers," but I've not finished it. Thanks.
Good evening, welcoming once again back on a Monday night. It's us. All three of us have managed to get together all in the same place at the same time with everything working well for the time being anyway.
Don't jinx it, Ted.
Yeah, I said it now. Too late.
Although I did come on and my microphone wasn't working. There was just visual. It's usually the other way around. There's no visual but sound. But with me, it just works the opposite way around. So yeah, we're here. Ted, Chris, is that what it's called? Chris, was that it? Chris, yeah. Ted, Chris, and Foxx on a Monday night. Yeah,
wee little fella.
Yeah, the other guy. Me, Ted, Chris, and Foxx. Yep. So that's us. So yeah, and welcome Monday night. It's your live stream. We're here to, as we used to say, we're here to facilitate your chat.
Did one of your ball bearings fall out then, Ted?
Yeah.
Are you dropping hinge parts?
Just found a screw in my pocket. Everybody has a screw in their pocket, don't they?
No.
Yeah. I bet if it's emergency, I need a screw. Somebody will turn up with a screw.
Yeah, but it'll be the wrong one.
So, well, good evening. Yeah, it's us. Where we're going from here then?
I think we're done now, aren't we?
Yeah, we're done. Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. I think it tonight we'll have what's in store. Yeah, we'll have a sticker giveaway. We'll have the winner from last week's giveaway. So if you haven't commented on last week's video, go and do it now because it's your last chance. You've
got to be in it to win it. If you're not in it, you can't win it. And then you have the sad face and we just go, "Hi, you didn't win because you didn't enter special."
Yeah, there'll be lots of sad icons. Is it icons are called? It's sad face emojis or whatever they're called. Is that what they're called?
Near enough.
Yeah. So what's who's in tonight then, Chris? Go on, you do something.
In tonight. I'll start at the top. I know I was in first, but it doesn't go back that far because as soon as Foxx sent the link out saying this is where it's going to be, I went there and said, "Haha, I'm first." It's like that, Pascal. But
it is cheating a bit when you have access to the link before the public.
No, it's fine. It's allowed, but it's disappeared. The first person I got in is Colin at Festa 67's workshop.
But you know, anyway, Chris, that even if you did come in the moment I gave you the link, Pascal would still have been there.
No, he wasn't.
Pascal's always there.
I checked first, and he wasn't there.
Even when the stream isn't existing, Pascal's always there first.
No, I was here.
Yeah.
So we've got Colin and Dad, both mods for you tonight.
Yeah.
Sergeant Bones was the first non-mod in that I can see in my chat. Also, Lord Barkley III, making models, LD. I'm gonna find. It's just when there's only like 4 people in, they all talk amongst themselves. It's really hard to find the odd names. We've got Gaz Vickers is in, and Bob Salty Balls Bobbington. I'm in. See, I was in eventually. Ickle Pete, Paul the Smasher. Andrew Leary, Michael Jacobin's in. I wonder if he's ordered his pizza yet.
Ooh, pizza.
Zadster, Phil Kett. They're talking about PCs and things being broken. Paul Horner, Red Lynn 8.
That's a new name. Welcome, Paul.
Horner. Paul Horner's been around.
Have you?
Yeah, he's definitely.
Oh, my apologies.
Yeah, he's definitely been around.
Well, still hello and well.
Andrew Leary, I think I said that already. Sprue Glue's in. Says, yeah, I'm here first. Oh, wait, I'll get my coat. That was like, 2 minutes ago that he came in and said that.
Also, he never wins anything, apparently.
No, he don't know anything. We've got Skullfish. That was a new one. They've not been around for a long, long time, but they're here now. Where we got the one that I can't say, Stin van Gemert. It's close. It's close. It might not be right, but it's close. That's the Wayne Hayward, Jamie Bowen, Adam Clark. They're all coming in now. It's all going to go crazy. Phil Lewis, Anders Eriksson, Rusting Customs, Timber. People, like, there's a few people blaming me because they're not feeling very well. They think they've got my germ. I've still got my germ, so I can't have passed it to anybody else because it's still here. It might be a germ's friends that might be spreading his way around, but
I've checked my antivirus is up to date, so that's all right.
Yeah, well, Mama Foxx is suddenly finding that her voice is going a bit. So I'm wondering if somehow you've passed Angerm to her through the internet.
It goes. I don't mind sharing. It's all polite and nice, and I'm happy. So yeah, our Toby Page I've just seen in the evening. That's a new name that I haven't seen. Philip Prime. So we've got some newish people, but yeah. Hello everybody, and everybody that's coming in now that is going to keep coming in, and everybody that knows me.
Yeah, it's anybody else that knows me. Michael Jackman confirmed he doesn't need a pizza tonight. He went to the pub earlier and had a nice steak. It's great when the wife goes to her sister's for a few days.
Oh, well, that's all right. You go to the pub, have a steak, come home, feel hungry again.
A pizza.
Yeah.
And then you got cold pizza for tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
In salad cream is apparently.
No, right. Apparently it's Stein, like Einstein. Stein drinking, but.
Aiken all the way from New Zealand.
Wow. Awesome.
All the way back on his feet again after all the complications from the medications. Keep taking the medications, I'd say. Yeah.
I keep taking the pills.
What else? I've totally lost it.
Have you not got your script, Ted?
I haven't got the script. We said it was your turn to have the script.
Oh, was it? I don't do scripts. I just waffle.
We'll get in the flow in a minute.
Well, while Ted's gathering his thoughts, as always, it's the Monday night show. We depend on you guys to give us things to talk about in the chat. So if you are watching this and you can't see the chat box next to the stream, then you're not watching it on the YouTube. So hit the little YouTube icon that's down here in the bottom corner. That will insta-magically transport you to the YouTube page where you can see the chat that you can do the typey, and you can join in. You want to be in the live chat because A, you can tell us things. B, we can read your comments, and C, you might win a sticker because you have to be in the chat to win a sticker and things and a mug and things like that. So do come and join us if you're not. If you're watching this on the eModels page or from Facebook or anywhere else, hit that little YouTube symbol and come and join the live chat. Don't forget, if you want to ask us a question, put your question in chat. If you do put it in chat, put it in big fat capital letters so we can see it. We have a chance to see it. Or you can do the super chat, which is the little dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window. That puts your question in a coloured box or your comment in a coloured box. We have an even better chance of seeing it. But if you haven't got access to chat at all on your device, don't panic. You can send us an email, ted@emodels.co.uk, and we can get your questions or comments from there. Don't forget to send us any shout outs or questions and answers or just general conversation questions, anything like that. You can put it in chat or send it to ted@emodels.co.uk.
Yeah, and all three of us have access to that account. So
right there in front of me.
Yep, I've got it on the phone. I got
it on my phone as well at some point.
Yeah, got a battery pack on it as well, so it will never run out of battery. So yeah, well, the next thing is, what have you been doing this week? Then, what have you been doing this week, Chris?
I've mostly been looking after my germ. I've not had any bench time at all. I just haven't felt like it. So nothing is the answer to your question there.
Yeah. Foxx, have you been doing anything? You can lie if you want.
Yes, I've built an entire 16-foot long 1 to 2 scale U-boat.
Oh, right.
16-foot long, 1 to 2. I think there's a lie there.
I may have a made-up number.
Hold up the card, the bluff.
Yeah. No, I've actually been tied up with family stuff this week, so I haven't had a chance to get anything done. Unfortunately, I've still got the U-boat on the go, but it's still just a box of ready to put together bits. However, I'm going to change my tack. I was going to keep it in little sub-assemblies and airbrush it.
Sub-assemblies.
What?
Was that an intended pun?
No, he didn't even know.
I see what you did there. I just didn't plan that one. I made it funny. So I was going to do little sub-assemblies for the different colours. But I decided, I've not got to that point yet, but what I'm actually going to do is just put it all together, because I need to do the antenna cables, and it's easier to just get everything glued together and put the antenna cables on, get it all done, and then do the brush painting, not do any airbrushing if I can avoid it, because it's supposed to be a silly little fun build. Ted's U-boat is the proper serious big boy build. That's a little silly fun thing. I'm just going to brush paint it and have some fun and see what we can do with just brush painting.
You're just beginning to sound like me now. I've been doing a little bit on the submarine this week, but it's still all in bits. Yeah, I just look like I've done anything at all on it. But as for me, yeah, I've been doing a bit on the U-boat this week. I've got some parts of it sprayed and it's all masked up, and the deck is all ready to do some put some chipping medium on it and do that. And then I shall begin filming. Hopefully, if it's quiet in the house tomorrow, I can start and do some filming. Because unlike the other workshop where I could just walk in, shut the door, and turn everything on, and I can start filming, I've now got to set everything up because I've got to do it on the living room or the dining room table. So yeah, so I've got bits for, and I've got these tiny little blocks.
Oh God, don't get them out over the floor.
Yeah. I've got these tiny little blocks. You can just see them in the bag.
Are they for the antenna wires?
For the antenna wires. Yeah.
The isolators.
Yeah. Well, they will be when I paint them up. They'll do the job.
Are they pre-holed, or have you got to make little tiny holes?
No, there's holes in them. I think he says.
Yeah.
I'll send them back if there isn't. Yeah, there's excuse me, the pre-drilled holes, so they'll fit.
So you'd just be sitting there for hours trying to poke it through, and it missed again.
When I did the Revell 172nd U-boat, which is a really nice kit actually. It comes out really nicely, but the isolators you get on that, they're nicely detailed, but they have little recesses where the holes should be, but they're not actually holes. So you can see where they've got the recess, but you still have to drill it out. And it's like, oh come on, you've already put most of the hole in there. You could.
How long did it take you to realise it wasn't a hole because you were trying to poke it into the recess?
You can see, because it's grey plastic. You can't do it. So it's like, so I had to get my tiniest little drill bit and be like, and somehow I managed to not mess any of them up, and it really worked really well. But it was like, you almost had it there, Revell. Come on, you could have. It was dead easy. It was quite easy to do. So.
We do have a question already from, and it's a model making question even. So I don't know, this might start a precedent here, but Beyond Hope asked Foxx, oil dot filters. Do I need a clear coat before applying, or should I just apply direct to the paint?
oil.filter.co.uk.com.eModels.com. Yes, I saw that one. You can do however you want. If you're wanting your model to look, if your whole point of your dot filter is to really change the color or the tone or the tint, or to give a slightly weathered look and just vary the color up slightly, like for example, if you're doing a Millennium Falcon, a dot filter of browns and yellows and things like that, and some blues and greens can give a good sort of slightly used dirty look. You really want it to either catch in the paint surface or catch in a matte varnish layer. So I would say the point of doing dot filter is to tint and color the surface and make it look used. So you want to use either a matte varnish over the paint, or if it's an acrylic paint, it's fine. You can just go straight over the acrylic paint. You don't need to matte varnish it, because enamels and acrylics, the thinness from the enamels won't affect the acrylic paints. Just make sure the acrylic paints are fully cured, 24 hours, 48 if you want to be safe. But yeah, I'd say either matte varnish or just straight over the paint if you can. But if you gloss varnish it, you only want to use a gloss varnish before any kind of weathering like that, just as a pin wash, because if you go to gloss varnish, you're just going to take most of the paint back off the surface again. And you'll just get it in the recesses. So if your aim is to discolor or tint the surface, you want the surface to grip the paint. So do it matte or just onto the bare paint.
Yep. Yeah.
Mark Dale says to Ted, really, make the what's in store good tonight. He still hasn't found his next build.
Oh, yeah.
So, no pressure, but Mark Dale's going to be buying at least 3 of the things that you feature on what's in store.
Oh, well.
He doesn't say that, but I've just said that.
You just decided that, haven't you?
If you bought 3 things, if you buy 3 things tonight, you could have a bit of a theme going there. Yeah, tonight it's not sort of as tenuous as Chris's was last week.
You mean it's easy?
Yeah, if you're a bit of a history buff, you know my likes, what I like. Yeah, I won't left too much out just at the moment.
Yeah, I didn't get Chris's last week.
No, I didn't till right.
People got it. People got it. They're on my side. They like my difficult ones.
Well, Ted, while you were trying to find your feet and figure out what we were doing, Andrew Lee answered it for you. He gave you a hand. He said, "Okay, what are you making? What are you watching on TV? And what are you mostly eating and drinking?" It prompted you from the prompt box.
Yeah. We'll get round to all of those things as the show goes on.
Yes.
I did see a question there from Robert Aitken. One or two people have already sort of started to answer him. He says, "What's the best colour for below the waterline on his Corvette that he's building?" A primer. I would use a red primer, somewhat like the Ammo MiG red primer, light base. I've just looked it up. It's number 921, something like that. When I used to paint my warships, before the days of MiG and all the other things, I used to go to a local car accessory superstore and buy the red primer from there, and it was just the ideal colour for.
However, nowadays with eModels, you obviously.
However, you can buy lots of red primers from eModels. Yeah, you don't have to necessarily look for a whole red. I think actually Humbrol do a whole red, but any colour sort of around that reddish brownish hue will do it.
Yeah, so, to me, do a good hull red. Those is quite nice.
Yeah, and do the matte as well. You'll never see a shiny bottom.
Yeah,
you'll never see a shiny bottom on a boat. There'll always be matte. I don't think they work the same way then as they do now, where way an anti-fouling works, it actually degenerates, it falls off as things stick to it. The paint falls off. That's how an anti-fouling works. So, I think in the old days it used to be sort of a chemical compound to stop them going, stop things growing on it.
I was actually, my mind was blown when I found out the whole point of anti-fouling paint is to fall off. I was like, wow, really? Makes sense. Yeah. Joe Bowditch, new name in the chat, but he says Transformers or GoBots. I say Gunpla. There you go. That's my answer. Ted says he doesn't know.
Who?
Ted's like, is that a Star Wars?
Okay. Yeah.
Mark Dale says he might play roulette again and just buy the third item. You shouldn't tell Ted that because he might swap the order he's putting things in and make the third item really expensive.
Yeah. One of them might be like the 450 quid remote control.
Yeah, the third
that
item
might accidentally be the third item now as well.
I'm just checking. The third item is it's Dora. We've got a big checkbook.
I think there's the questions in there. Somebody asks me when I'll be doing. It's Paul from Team Inept. I should have known. Oh dear! Ask me when I'll be doing the Hachette Bismarck. There's an ongoing joke on Facebook at the minute that I'll do the Bismarck, but I'll Warhammer. You know, they're doing the big part work for the 5-foot-long Bismarck. That I'll do it, but I'll Warhammer it.
Yeah.
The only way to Warhammer a Bismarck is to just buy lots. Is to buy smaller Bismarcks, take all the guns and cannons, and put those on the guns and cannons of the 1/200 scale one.
No, I think what you should do is on the turrets of the guns is just cut out a sort of a hatch and have a Warhammer guy stood out waving
a sword,
waving a chainsaw. Perfect. In fact, do it like Titanic's. Have them stood at the bow of the ship over the railing like that with the sword.
Yeah, you got to do that now.
Yeah, I'm not doing
that. Michael Jackman found out today that I need a new starter reel for his Panzer IV after the cabinet disaster smashed it. Michael, what size? Mail me. Let me know, because I think if it's the same scale, I might have one from my build.
Somebody mentioned, who was it? Paul Di Tommaso has recently found out that Hachette, who do the part work for the Bismarck in Japan, do a 1/350 scale space battleship Yamato part build.
Oh, that might come this way.
I mean, I've got a 1/500 scale kit of the space battleship Yamato, and that's about 3 foot long. So 1/350 scale.
It'd be a bit bigger, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Michael Jackman's asking what everyone thinks about the metal build of Bismarck. Apart from it being very expensive, he's thinking about building it. So there's a few of these part works started now. So yeah, they might be expensive, but they're over a long period of time. So you know, it's £1 a day or something. So
yeah. There is the part works can be great fun, and they're usually going to be things that you're not going to get any other ways. Now, in terms of the Hachette Bismarck, it's not the first one. D'Agostini did one a few years ago. It's well out of print though, and that was exactly the same size. I don't know if it wasn't the same model. It was 1/200 scale. There is also a trumpeter. Is it not trumpeter? Somebody does a 1/200 scale Bismarck, and it might not be trumpeter. I can't remember who it is now, but it's all plastic with loads of photo X and stuff like that. That's actually a kit you can just buy. But of course, that's a more advanced. That's going to be for your proper shipbuilders who know how to make 10 trillion parts. So yeah, it's always worth looking at part works. They're always quite good fun. You've just got to have the patience to build something over 2 years.
I've just having a quick look, and eModels have got several Bismarcks in stock. There's a 1700 Bismarck at £31.49. 700 at £51, 700 at £35. They're all basically the same, but different manufacturers. And there's a 350 Bismarck with display stand from Tamiya at £55.
That's quite good.
So, yeah. Oh, and there's a Revel 1200 Tirpitz. I don't know why that's come up as a search for Bismarck, but that's only £8.50. So.
There'll be waterline models a bit.
I didn't click on them to see, but that's only. I mean, that's a small kit, so it's not going to be an expensive one anyway. So
yeah, but yeah, quite a lot of talk about that. What did you think of the bits that you got, Foxx? What did you think about it?
I had, for those who don't know, I got Hachette sent me the first issue of the Terminator and the first issue of the Bismarck. And in the first issue of the Bismarck, you just get a big chunk of, you get the wooden part of the bow of the deck, the front pointy bit.
The front bit, yeah.
Front bit, which is about that big, and a chunk of the metal bow there out of the hull, and then you get some bits to stick on it. And the Terminator, I got I've just got that. I kind of built them and filmed them, and I threw them out because I'm not going to do those builds anyway. But I kept that bit because that's kind of mint. Yeah, they're all right. They're fine. The Bismarck looks like it's going to be big. I've no idea what it'll quality-wise because I only saw the pointy bit at the front. So, but I mean, the fact that the wooden pointy bit of the deck is basically it's the part of the bow,
the forecastle.
Yeah, the forecastle that's got the warping winch on it. I remember that bit. And it's before the first cannon, the first gun. So it was about that big.
It's the front pointy bit.
Yeah, so it's going to be about 4.5 foot long.
Yeah, it's I suppose it's one way of buying an expensive model if you can't sort of, or if you don't want to shell out all at once. But are these guys? Is Hachette the sort of person that the sort of company that you wait till the end? And then you could buy the whole lot anyway if you wanted to.
You can do that with D'Agostini. I think you can do that with Hachette, yes. But the only thing with Hachette is they're limited where they are. It's like UK and Republic of Ireland. I think they've got Australia, Spain, some bits of Europe, and some Asian territories, and that's about it. So they're quite limited in their scope and their territory.
Yeah, a few people have been complaining that they can't get it where they are.
They don't have an office in America, North America at all.
Yeah,
D'Agostini do, but Hachette they have a publishing arm in America that do books, but they don't have a magazine part work thing in America.
Yeah, Michael, I got your email. Send me your address if you haven't already. It's just about the smashed aerial on his trumpeted tank. I'll see if I can find mine.
All right. And Anders Ericsson says the Tirpitz was the sister to the Bismarck. So, yeah, Bismarck is obviously in the description somewhere. That's why it popped up in the search for on eModels.
Yeah. No part works available in Canada. No part works available in Spain.
All right. Paul does ask me, because I have done something this week. I started doing that Terminator thing that Foxx was just talking about. And he asked me, did I try using polishing compound on the Terminator faceplate? I didn't. I just used some wet and dry paper just to sort of try and get it a little bit shinier than the stock one. And it just came up a bit shinier, which is what I was aiming for. So I didn't really go any deeper than using polish or anything else on it.
I had a look at it. If you look at the metal parts, they are, because the Terminator is supposed to be chromy, and that isn't it. It's kind of got a texture to it. You could get yourself some good old-fashioned Maguire's heavy compound. Not not the polished. I used to use compounds in detailing, not the kind of cut, polished, and finished compound, but just a cut compound. And like maybe a medium like the D300, and then a finishing compound. But you'd have to use like a Dremel or something, and that would probably get it nice and shiny and chromy. But it'd probably take a bit of effort.
Yeah, I bought a second issue one to try polishing it and trying to make it all look shiny without ruining the other one if it didn't work. So you're probably not going to be able to quite see, but one of them's shinier than the other. And yeah, basically one of them's as it came, which is that one, and that one's just been buffed up a bit. So it's a bit shinier, which is pretty much what I was aiming for. It does need sort of full gunk washing and everything when it's done anyway. So.
Yeah. You know what we need to do though? We need to find a mug or some kind of drinking vessel that's got the diameter so it can go around, because it looked like you're holding like two mugs there.
Just to bolt it around, yeah. Lord Barkley says, I received my eModels mug, Ted. Thanks for sorting it out.
Yeah, been quite online quite a bit between eModels, myself, and Jennifer, who does the lights for the U-boat kit. We've been trying to sort a new way of lighting the boat out. So if you're interested in lighting the U-boat, we're Jennifer's sorting out a new arrangement to light it all up. So if you're onto that, hang on a little bit, and then we'll have some new lighting eventually. Oh,
good! I just got a notification that eModels are live. Yeah,
awesome. We better go and watch. Right, I better finish so I can go and watch.
So what's everybody else been here? Emails are going all over. What's everybody else been up to this week?
Yeah, what people in chat? What have you guys all been doing? What have you been working on?
And Andy, let's see, as the part works is sort of topic of conversation. Is part work your thing? Would you subscribe to a part work, or what would you like to see as a part work? Not that anybody sell part works, but if something was out there, what would tempt you to buy it?
Michael Jackman says he's already built the part works, the HMS Victory, and he's uploaded picture visit to the gallery.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's good. I actually saw the part work when it started coming out. Not really my sort of nice models to build, but not really my sort of genre, really.
Vistalos Model Making does point out about polishing the metal parts. He said, "Oh, you know, Fox, you could use Tamiya polishing compounds available at eModels.co.uk." I forgot about those. Yeah, use some Tamiya polishing compounds available at your best favoritist convenient online model stockist, eModels.co.uk.
Sprue Blues just received a notification about my Sunday night stream.
Cool.
Was that the last one or the next one? Because it could be either. YouTube have been messing around something chronic at the moment.
Don't forget, I'm streaming Elite Dangerous last Tuesday. Wayne Hayward is doing a half-size R2D2. You've done that, Chris, haven't you?
I have done that. Yeah, it's lovely. It's just over there. You can't see it. It's over there, standing next to my Jack Specific 3PO, which is about that big.
Yeah, part works can be good fun. I'm doing the Warhammer one at the minute, and they're good fun. It's the kind of thing whereby you can, in some cases, save a lot of money. Like the Warhammer one I'm doing is a grand's worth of stuff, right? 600, 700 quid. So, but it's a long, slow, drawn out process. So you tend to have like your normal modeling projects and then the slow burn part work, which you'll get a few bits each month. Like the Terminator one, for example, you just get a few metal bits and you attach them and that's it. Or the R2D2, you screw a piece to one other piece and then you walk away for the rest of the month. Whereas something like the Warhammer one, you've got like 5 or 6 figures to paint and get up, and that might give you a week of work, and then you can crack on with other things. So they are a kind of nice way to spread what is often a very big and complex build, or in the case of the Warhammer one, a couple of armies, or depending on what it is, like the Bismarck's a big long ship, the R2 is a half-size R2 unit. It's just a way of getting a big, massive model, but over a long period of time. And often it's stuff that you're either not going to get anywhere else or would be ridiculously expensive often if you didn't do it as part work. They're not always going to be like if you compare the Hachette Bismarck to somebody remind me in chat if it's the Trump. I can't remember if it's Trumpet or who it is that does the 1-200 Bismarck kit. The actual model kit is going to be a lot more complex and detailed than the Hachette part work, but they're still going to be great fun.
So how did you do your part work then, Chris? Did you wait till you had a few issues and all stacked up, or did you wait till the postman came, went round to the workshop, click, screwed it in, and that bit's done, or did you save all the parts up? And
generally, I use their subscription thing, so they post them out generally like 4 every month instead of getting one every week if you went pick it up. So I'd be waiting for the postman. He'd bring along a package that had 4 things in it, and I'd instantly, as soon as I was able to, rip them open and build them. And the R2, literally, some issues would take 3 minutes to make. They're not long things. By the time you flick through the magazine and decided I've got to put this bit on this bit, it was done. But then some issues took a lot longer. Some of the later issues where you're trying to get all the wiring together and all that took, an hour or more. So, but yeah, I do them as I got them. I couldn't be sitting on them, waiting on them. I'm in a few Facebook groups and things, and people are saying like, I've got all the issues up to 76 and I haven't started yet. Do you think I should start yet? It's like, yes, you should have started a year ago. How have you got them just sitting there?
Matt Bradford says he started the Hachette U96 part works 4 years ago.
Wow.
If I remember rightly, that is a one. Is that also 148th, Matt, or is that 135th?
It's a big one. It's almost catching me. In fact, the time I'm taking over this Submarine, it could have been a part work. But,
yeah, the Hachette one. I can't remember if it's a 135th scale. It might even be bigger than yours, Ted, because yours 148th. I think I have seen it, and it's massive. Robert Vick asks something, and then it moved. Hang on.
What model do each of you enjoy the most building?
That's exactly what he asked. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Do you mean model or do you mean genre? I like any model that's got lots of parts. Usually large scale. I couldn't think of any particular model. I like the Panzer IV. I like that because it had lots of parts, had lots of detail. Granted, you couldn't see a lot of the detail, but it was nice to build it and then weather it and paint it all up. And it was a great size to build. But the Submarine, the Submarine's good as well. And although it's taken me a long time to build it for one reason or another, another great project. I must try something else other than Trumpeter next time. What about you guys?
Pretty much anything, really. I do notice that Zaz says Trumpeter have a 1-200 Bismarck at £300. That might be the one that Foxx is talking about.
Yeah, I think that's the only other one that's the same scale.
Just thought I'd grab that before it disappears off the chat.
Yes.
I haven't got a particular type of build or anything. I mean, I generally do the 144 scale stuff because that's just what I decided to do. So I like anything in that scale, really. But I've not got any particular anything.
I'm quite happy and open to say, like in the past, I've said it before, that I'm not. My happiness is not in the building of models, it's in the painting of models. The building part of models kind of bores me. So I'm not really invested in the construction side of things. I'm the arty-farty painter at the end. So really for me, I do weathered. So clean, shiny race cars and fighter planes are no interest to me at all. Anything that can be weathered and beaten and battered is something I'm going to have interest in. For a long time, my big main gig was Gunpla. Now I've discovered Warhammer, and I'm loving that because it's teaching me how to brush paint, which I never really did before. But really, anything sci-fi, it will tickle my interest. As long as it's going to be fun to paint and I can weather it, I'm happy. Because for me, the building is not the important bit. For me, the painting and the weathering is the fun bit. The building's the boring bit I don't enjoy.
Yeah. I do like building. I do like looking at other people's builds, and I'm envious of shiny car builders and things like that, and helicopter builders. Somebody mentioned a helicopter. I'm envious of people that build them because I probably can't do. Well, I don't think I could do shiny to the shiny extent of a sort of a showroom high gloss finish.
Yeah, I have great respect for people that do like shiny cars and sport cars and Formula One and planes and stuff, because I can't do. One of the reasons I do weathering is because I can't do clean models, because I'm just not that good.
It's very unforgiving, isn't it?
Yes, you can't screw anything up on a nice, shiny, clean car. So give me something I can weather and chip and stain and dirt up.
I think I'm probably just too lazy and too clumsy, just to do shiny car kits. I know you guys sort of do a lot of polishing and things like that. I'd end up with a thumbprint in the middle of the roof.
Oh no, I've done it before. I have tried to make shiny cars. I did one. I did a Toyota Celica many years ago, and I actually didn't do a bad job of it, apart from the big glue thumbprint I got right in the middle of the windscreen.
Yeah,
no going back from that.
Anders says, see you at Scale Model World in November. The hotel and airline tickets are booked today.
Oh, well, yeah.
So, yeah, that's the Telford, I assume.
Well, we'll hope to be there.
Yeah.
Come say hello. Find us, dig us out from somewhere. We'll be there in the bar or propping up somebody's stand.
Yeah, you'll have to recognise us because we don't know what you look like. But we look like this, so that's what you're looking for.
Yeah. What else? Matt Bradford says Space 1999. Yeah, it's been reshown on Force TV. Oh, so Michael Jackman says that. It's been Force TV. If you want Space 1999. What else? Anything else coming in?
Brian Windmill's asking Foxx where the Falcon build is. But
Brian Windmill's in, yes.
Yes, Dave.
Dave. I've said it before, but I can say it again. I've got to finish the U-boat first, which I keep trying to get doing. Then family things happen, and I haven't had a chance yet. But as soon as I've done that U-boat, I've got a Master Grade Sazabi to do, and then it's the Falcon. So an amount of time needs to pass first. And
Dave Cardboard says, Windmill, you're back. I thought you'd left us.
Get the
partners come back together.
Yeah, probably he went from promotion and it didn't go too well, so he's come back. Yeah. Stephen Rolfe says, I'm only ever a sci-fi modeler. Like the weathering fun, but quite fancy a military kit. Recommendations for a first-time kit. It depends what you're into, Steve. Let us know. Is it armor, soft skin, aircraft, anything like that?
What was that middle one?
Ted likes his bit of soft skin. He knows all about soft skin.
Soft skin and skin flesh tones.
What's a soft skin? What is that? Is that a military thing?
It's like a Jeep or a truck.
Yeah, right. Okay, I've not heard of that one. That's new.
If you find a bullet, it's probably going to go through it rather than bounce off like a tank.
Yeah.
But if anything for the first time, if fancying a tank or something like that, try a Tamiya or some of the smaller trumpeter kits. You'll find them easy as pie.
Just find something that you like the look of and go for it.
Yeah. Dave Cardboard says soft skin. It's a truck with a tent on the back, basically.
Yes, people are saying non-armor soft skin. I don't do armor and military stuff much anyway, so it's not something that I'd heard of before. It's interesting. Even I learn things.
I think if he likes the weathering side of things, then I'd personally probably say more World War II than modern, maybe.
Yeah.
Or older rather than newer, because newer stuff tends to be maybe not as scruffy and dirty as the middle of a campaign. World War II stuff, maybe. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends what you like the look of. As Chris says, find something you like the look of and build it. And that way you'll be more inclined to build it than have a recommendation of go and build a Sherman tank. And you don't like Sherman tanks and you think, well, people said to build this one.
Yeah, someone might recommend the best kit in the world, but if it's not your thing, you're just not going to. You haven't got the interest to do it. You're not going to do it.
Yeah. Robert Aiken, everybody's answering what kind of stuff they like. Let's have a look. I've just scrolled and it all moves. Oh, darn it.
Was it years ago I was into aircraft models?
I don't know. There's one of them. You can finish reading it if you want.
Now I prefer ship models, especially 1/72nd, although display space is the main issue. That's really why I went for 144 stuff, because I haven't got room for things. Of course, then I did the half-scale R2 and the half-scale Terminator. So, yeah, let's not worry about that anymore.
We're going a bit wrong there, isn't it, now?
As for Robert Aiken, keep watching what's in store.
Osric 9000 says, I enjoy the building and painting, and the weathering is a grind for me. So it's like the reverse of me, I guess. Weathering is the fun bit because it's just mess. It's just mess.
Yeah, I quite like doing the weathering because you can experiment. You can get a brush full of paint or pigment and things like whatever, and you think, oh, I don't know how this is going to work, and then you just slap it on, and it sort of comes out right. You know, it works. And nothing's ever wrong.
Sprugly Radic says, we are 40 minutes past the watershed. Can Ted talk about soft skin?
Yeah, soft skin with flesh tones.
Ken Skiffington says, I like scratch building sci-fi.
Oh, well, yeah, that'd be an interesting subject to do, because that's what the guys at Space 1999 and Star Trek and Star Wars did, isn't it? They just scratch built everything, made it up.
Yeah.
Jerry Anderson sticking bits and pieces together to make launch pads for his rockets.
Yeah. Andrew Leary says, to me, a challenger, then have fun with the desert weathering. And Colin at Festa 67 Workshop says, I've got Warhammer. There is no hope for me now. He recently received some Warhammer thanks to Mr. Loaf. Yeah, it's all gone wrong now for him, basically.
Cy Reynolds says, weathering is the best bit. It brings a model to life, whatever the genre. It does, yeah. I do know that people will say, "Oh, it's got too much mud on it. It's not got enough mud on it. It's dusty more than muddy." Yeah, trying to strike a balance with it. So you do a model as you want and not how somebody else likes it. If you like it, that's you've achieved your aim, haven't you?
Yeah. Stephen Rolfe says something I can agree with. I like weathering because I'm not brilliant at painting. That's why I like weathering. That's why I spent many years learning how to do weathering, because I'm not the best painter in the world.
Although they do say that you shouldn't try to hide bad painting with good weathering. Because
no, you should. You absolutely should try and hide bad painting with weathering.
It seems to work for me. I'm quite successful at it.
You'd be surprised how often a bad paint job becomes brilliant when you weather it.
Have you ever been building something and you're thinking, well, I've messed that up and that's really going to stand out, and you think, I know what I can do. I'll throw a tarpaulin over it, or I can do some rust streaks over that, and nobody will ever see it.
Yeah, paint chipping, rust streaks. If it's a real screw up, like a physical screw up, then you put like blast damage. If it's a sci-fi kit, oh look, it's something impacted. Boom, drill. Bzz, there you go, Dremel action. Battle damage.
Put a tarpaulin over it. Put some clothing on it. Put some kit on it, and nobody will ever know.
Yep. Zasta says, be aware there's a lot more to fancy models than Games Workshop, much cheaper too. I don't do fancy.
Yes, there is. Yes.
Yep.
Get yourself along to a great shop. I think it's called E something. eModels.
Models, yeah.
.qq. Blimey, a lot of modelling talk tonight. Are we on diets? Says Pete Rogers.
We haven't started on the gym.
Don't know what's going on. Andrew Lewis says, but we know when we made a screw up, no matter how good we hide it under grime and muck. Yeah. The thing that always gets me, and I've said this before, and it always makes me chuckle when I go to a model show, any model show, and I guarantee you'll get there. Especially when it's, say, the older generation of builders. You go to a model show, there'll be all the little, modeling groups will have their tables, and there'll be things and all that kind of stuff. I can guarantee you, in the UK at the very least, go to a modeling show, there will be a table of Spitfires. And half of them will have no weathering at all. They'll just be made it, primed it, painted it, done. Not even a panel line wash or a streak or anything. It's just flat paint. Green, brown, silver. And it's like, I was 10 when I did that.
Yeah.
And it just looks so lifeless until you put... And it doesn't... When the thing that people don't understand is when we say weathering doesn't mean you necessarily cover the model in dirt and grime and dust so it looks like it's been buried in the garden for 6 months. Weathering can be very, very subtle. TK, one of the mods, made an SR-71 Blackbird. And you think of an SR-71 Blackbird, it's a bigger black plane. How would you weather it? It's not, going to rust. It's not got paint chipping on it. But he did weathering on it, and the weathering on that is kind of streaks in the black to make sort of lighter grey streaks, and it just gives it depth and things. So weathering doesn't just mean making something horribly filthy. It can be taking a model and just adding subtle variations in the base paint color, so it's not just solid brown, solid green. It's got some patchiness to it, some variation, a little bit of depth. It could just be a little bit of a a pin wash around rivets just to give them some depth. It could be very subtle. But it always makes me sad when I see a model that's just flat colors and no weathering, because it's like a crayon drawing compared to an oil painting. You can do so much better and make a model so much more alive, even with just a simple wash. So always have a think of it. Unless it's like, unless you are doing a Formula One racing car or a concourse clean car or something like that, in which case, yeah, you're not going to weather that because that's supposed to be nice and shiny and polished. But if it's a civilian vehicle or a military vehicle or something like that, that's going to have some use and some dirt, even just normal wear and tear, give it a try. You'd be surprised how much better your models will look.
I think, as Stephen Rolfe said there, it's a toy versus a miniature.
Yeah.
And Andrew Leary says the SR-71 is filthy. The fuel tanks leak. If you look at the red arrows, I say that because I've just got a box here with the red arrows jet in it. And if you look at the red arrows, they're all nice and shiny and things like they're really shiny because they're out polishing them every air show. But when you've seen them flying, if you've watched that series on the TV just in the last few weeks or so, when you get up close to the red arrows jet, you'll find that there is fuel streaks, there is hydraulic streaking down the undercarriage and out along the wings, things like that. Yeah, it just has that air of realism about it.
Yeah, it's like I said with the Blackbird though. A lot of people just build the Blackbird and paint it black or a dark charcoal grey perhaps, and leave it at that. But if you look at a Blackbird, it's the same as like look at the black tiles on the space shuttle. They look black when you see it on a photograph. It's a black tile. When you look up close, they're all streaky with different shades of dark greys and light greys. There's heat damage. There's all kinds of things going on there. And SR-71, and Ted's just gone well out of focus there.
Yeah, I just wonder why I did that.
You pressed the button, didn't you?
Oh, I didn't do anything. Spurglue said I'd just gone out of focus, so I just got to check it.
Yeah, you went.
You've
gone a bit fuzzy and low res, I think. Maybe
it must have gone like that, and then it's gone like that.
Is Mrs. Ted downloading Titanic again?
Yeah, yeah, but it's some sewing program.
No, not Disney on Ice or something. Yeah, so I mean, the thing with any miniature is you're trying to, when you're making a model and you're making a miniature of something, you want to a certain degree, exaggerate what the real thing has to a certain degree, depending on the scale. Because if you just paint it the flat colours, for example, the only place you're ever going to see, say, a Spitfire that is green and brown and shiny, which you do see, people do glossy green and brown, perfect, no weathering. Only place you're going to see that is in a museum. Because in reality, they were painted quickly, they were put out into service, they weren't repainted every 5 minutes. They were chipped and worn and dirty and maintained regularly. Yeah, and I don't know. It just, any model just comes to life with a bit of weathering. So have a think about it. It doesn't have to be dirty and grubby. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It means depth and character.
Yeah. Powerwolf says very few vehicles are spotless, even showroom models.
Yeah.
It's actually Powerwolf 1097/M /.
Yes.
Don't know why.
I agree. Trust me, I've spent hours working detailing polishes out of the names on the back of Ferraris with a toothpick. You can't get it out, and that's just the polishing compounds you've used to polish it. So there's always dirt and dust on that, even a showroom car somewhere. But yeah, if you're making a beautiful sports car that's supposed to be shiny and stuff, then you're not going to weather that, obviously. But if you're trying to do something other than that, then you want to give it some character. The weathering can tell a story.
Yeah. Just reading through one or two of the comments on there. Most of them being out of focus, just like the old days again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt more at home out of focus.
Yeah.
Well, it hides all the imperfections, and
yeah,
it's like weathering for video.
Yeah, like video weathering. Oh, there you go.
Just need to be subtly out of focus, doesn't it? Something like that.
Bit like this. You see, look. This is my perfect look now. It's my best side.
Yeah,
Combined with a bit of zoom as well.
I feel a bit more comfortable. I can hide behind it, and it gives that much nicer look.
Yes, I'll put myself back in focus now. It's nice when the focus slider makes the noise there.
Yeah, I'm not
You need to build that in a bit more, I think.
Most people are on about weathering in the chat. Rob Aiken says that ship model weathering lets the imagination run wild. Yeah, you can do that on any vehicle. It doesn't just happen to be ships. The only shiny ships boats that I know of are lifeboats, the RNLI lifeboats, where they'll spend days polishing them.
And private yachts because they have staff.
Yeah, private yachts.
But trust me, even if you pull the most expensive multi-million-pound yacht out of the sea and lift it up, it's going to have a filthy bottom.
Yeah.
Unless you pay a little, unless you know Robert Maxwell. Let's show my age. Unless he like employs a little fella to go underneath in his diving equipment and scrape all the crap off. No, it's going to look terrible. So yeah,
it wouldn't have a shiny bottom though.
No. Mark Dale says, did a Lynx recently that went wrong, so I set fire to it and finished it as a crash diorama that solved a bad paint job.
It's just how we used to do it in the old days, isn't it? Yeah.
Andrew Leary says, I need a Domino's pizza, large and thin. Don't go Domino's. Go local takeaway pizza. They're usually a lot cheaper. Domino's. Other pizza outlets are available. Toy versus real miniature, says somebody in the comment moved, so forgive me, it moved and I lost your comment.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Matt Bradford says bears. I don't know
why that was. I'm not sure why that happened.
I agree. I fully agree with that comment. Let's have a look. I've just finished weathering the Star Trek Vulcan shuttle, says Philip Prime, and that's just given me a massive flashback to when I was about 8 years old. Good God. Is that the one where it's just like the two warp themselves and a wedge? If it's that one, it's a cream colour. I made that when I was like 9. That's just, mind is just blown suddenly. He says, I've just finished weathering the Star Trek Vulcan shuttle. The decals are so bad I needed to hide the mess. Video build available. Yeah. And that's the thing with the weathering as well. Sometimes it's fun, depending on the subject. Sometimes it's fun to try and be realistic. If you're making a World War II tank, you probably want to kind of keep it semi-realistic. You don't have to be super realistic. But, you know, if you're doing a tank in the desert, you're not going to be rusting the crap out of it. There's some logic there. But if you're doing like sci-fi stuff, like spaceships and things, made up fictional spaceships, you can have fun with it. You know, making, say, Starfleet Federation ships. I've got a runabout there. I've got to make it some Federation runabout. I'm going to be weathering that. That's the thing that's always in space. But I'm going to put streaking and stuff on it because it just makes it look interesting. It's just giving life to whatever you are making. Michael Jackman says, you're right. The first thing I did with my remote control Tiger tank was take the tracks off and weather them.
It's the right answer. Yeah, brilliant.
Steve at Totally Scale Model says our local pizza is 21 inches for $14.99.
That's actually good. We used to order like the respected brand pizzas like Domino's and Pizza Hut and stuff until we realised that all the local places do exactly the same pizzas for like £5. Why pay 30 quid when you can pay 5?
Yeah, well, you can always just send them one to Ted at eModels, eModels.com.
George Taylor says the weathering on his old Corolla is the only thing holding it together.
That's a bit like my car at the moment. It's the weathering. Yeah, I don't know if it's rusted. It's just weathering.
Well, I've said before that my Fiesta's been rat rodded. We rat rodded it for fun many years ago, but we messed up on the clear coat. So although it's supposed to be matte, it's half matte and half side of satiny gloss because we didn't mix it properly. So half of it's shiny. So I've not washed it in about 4 years. So I'm technically weathering it just to make it look matte and not shiny.
Yeah, well, when somebody ran into my car, I had it repaired. This must have been about before Christmas, and the guy said, "Oh, the paint we've done the paint, but it's not gone hard, so don't wash it for a few weeks." And I still haven't washed it. Yeah, when it gets to summer, I'll wash it because I know that when I've washed it, it's not going to rain straight after it. Yeah. So.
Zazda says eModels should sell the model buildings from Tabletop World. They look amazing. I don't know what they are, but you can always give the guys at eModels a call and say, hey, can you stock, please? Because they might be able to. It might be something they've looked at but didn't know there was a demand for. So if there's anything, we always say if there's something that you can't find on the website, it's either not in stock because they don't stock it, or it's out of stock temporarily because they ran out and they need to get more. But if you ever get that situation, give them a shout. It might be something they can get from one of their many distributors.
Ryan tells you, Fox, that's the one. He also built one first time around, but he's a glutton for punishment, so he's building another one.
What runabout?
The runabout, the Vulcan thing.
Yeah, I've built a runabout before, but I never finished it. But I've got one there. I bought two in about 2004. I bought two off eBay because I knew they were out of production, and that one's been in the loft for like 15 years, whatever. So I've got it up there, and I need to make it.
Spruglu's got a question for everyone. He says, "What was the scariest film you saw as a kid that you were told not to watch?" I don't remember there being any particular. No, I don't think so. I used to read books more than I watch films. Well, now I don't tend to read very many books because it takes too long. But I used to read a lot of I read a lot of the James Herbert books, and they were quite scary as books. But no, I didn't really watch any scary films when I was growing up. I don't particularly watch scary films now. But
no, I didn't. I always found horror films and stuff just boring. Like, I could suspend disbelief for sci-fi films, but I couldn't suspend disbelief for horror films. They were just, I was like, this is boring. It's just an actor. What? It's not scary at all. It's just a bloke in a costume and some fake blood. What? I was like 5. I'm like, it's not scary.
Yeah, I can't remember watching films as a kid. Mind you, when I was a kid, everything was in black and white. So
it was Magic Lanterns when you were a kid, Ted.
Yeah.
Geotropes.
Where the guy at the front playing the piano very slowly to make
always the same tune, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Laurel and Hardy was the scariest thing I'd ever seen. Don't watch any Laurel and Hardy. So, so I can't remember anything else. I remember watching American Werewolf in London and thinking that was scary.
Kruger says that's his. Mine was American Werewolf in London when it was 9.
Yeah,
I do remember watching a couple of the Tales of the Unexpected.
Oh, they were quite spooky.
I've got the theme in my head now.
Yeah, and the Twilight Zone was quite scary as well, depending on which writer it was.
Yeah,
the Pete Rogers.
Sorry, go on, Ted.
Pete Rogers says, "Carry on screaming." Yeah, got them all. Yeah, got them all. Can't be, but carry on, old matron.
Mark Dale says, "Mary Poppins." No, that just made me angry. That made me violent. It took me a long time to forgive Dick Van Dyke. It was only when I was student age and I started watching Diagnosis Murder of an Afternoon and thought, you know what, this is a bit mellow, I can watch this. That's when I forgave Dick Van Dyke for all his crappy Cockney accents.
No, I think whenever I see Dick Van Dyke, I think he's been in a Columbo, hasn't he?
Wasn't he? Everybody's been in a Columbo.
He was in Columbo. Everybody's been in Columbo. I think, yeah, even Foxx has been in Columbo.
It makes me laugh because Mum watches Murder, She Wrote, and half the people that have been in Columbo have been in Murder, She Wrote like 10 years later.
They're either a victim or the murderer. One or the other. When they turn up, Dick Van Dyke. Whenever I see Dick Van Dyke in a program, I just think of Mary Poppins.
Andy at Never Model Making, one of your eModels builders, is in chat, and he says the original King Kong when he was 6.
Oh, yeah, that must have been in black and white on the real. Yeah. The Child Catch on Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, says Pete Rogers.
Which film was that again, Ted?
There's
no way to say that without tripping up, is there?
Chitty Bang Bang.
Festa 67 Workshop says The Evil Dead.
I don't know that one.
Jaws 3 gave me nightmares when I was a kid, says Osric 9000. I think I like Jaws, not Jaws 3, because Jaws 2 and 3 were terrible.
I don't remember. I know Jaws. I'm trying to think. Jaws 2, I can't remember exactly what happened, and 3, wasn't there the one that went silly? They
were just a bit rubbish after. It was like any film franchise. After the first one, it's all just ass, not. But yeah, the original Jaws, I enjoyed that because it wasn't a horror film, so it was more a thriller, and that terrified me a little bit because horror films I can't watch.
Most horror films consist of dumb Americans walking around the house without turning the lights on, shouting, "Johnny, are you here? And who's there? Put some lights on."
I'm a bit scared. I'm going to go down there alone. You lot stay here.
Yeah. And I won't put any lights on.
It's like, hang on, there's 4 of us and one of us in a wheelchair. He needs to go first. Michael Jackerman mentions, I assume he's mentioning Forbidden Planet because he says the damn thing's invisible, the monsters of the id. That was Forbidden Planet, that wasn't it? That's a classic film, that is.
How old's Rostrick 9000? Because he says Jaws 3 gave him nightmares when he was a kid. I wasn't even a kid when Jaws 1 came out.
No. I mean, Jaws 1 was 70 something. Jaws 3 was in the... Osric's clearly like about 18 or something. So he's obviously a damn child, and we all just hate him now.
That's it. We only know people here. We only know people here by the names that come up on the screen. And I don't know about you guys, but I sort of imagine the people at the other end of the telly.
Oh dear.
Typing. It's like when you're on the phone to a call centre, isn't it? And you get this voice at the other end, and you immediately put a picture to that voice.
Yeah, and it's not the West. Oh, she sounds nice. No.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing is because, I always trip up because, whenever we do any live streams or anything like this, the eModel stuff, and you've got people with a lot of people use their real name on YouTube, and some don't. They use like a pseudonym. And I've tripped up before where I've been talking to someone and assumed it's a man. And it might not be a bloke you're talking to. Yeah. So, you always have this mental, it tends to have this mental image of the person on the other end of the conversation.
It's like you get a phone call, isn't it? Hello, Ted. Can you come and see me? Can you come down and sit? We'll have a chat and things like that. So you go in, you walk into the bank, and I've come to see Sally. And then this other person comes out. I'm like, yeah, I'm Sally. Not what I thought you were. You picture in your head, don't you, people? It just doesn't match.
People have started talking about ages now. Stephen Rolfe says, "How old are you, Ted?" And you should never ask a lady her age.
Yeah, I'm as old as my tongue and younger than my teeth.
21.
And Andrew Leary says, "I'm 50, going on 8."
Yeah, you can cut me in half and count the rings.
Stephen Rolfe says, "I saw Jaws 1 as a kid. I'm old now."
Totally Scale Model says something and then retracted it, so we'll never know. I remember when my dad took me to watch Star Wars as a kid when it came out in 1977, and I just screamed all the way through. I don't know why. I obviously didn't want to be there. I was only 6, but looking back at now, I'm like, oh, the one time in my life I would have seen Star Wars in the cinema, and I was like, all the way through because I was 6 and didn't know what I was doing.
I think we found out what Totally Scale Models retracted, because he just says Teletubbies scare the bejesus out of me.
Oh, right.
I think he might not have used the word bejesus before.
Oh no, I think he misspelled the word tubbies. I think he said Teletubbies.
Oh right, might have been.
Yeah, they were spooky Teletubbies.
That wasn't spooky; they were just insane.
Yeah, something definitely wrong about the inventor of them.
No wonder kids turn out disturbed when they brought up on Teletubbies.
I used to work with a woman and it was her niece was one of the creators of the Teletubbies, and she said, "Yeah, it's my niece that created them. She's a nutter." Lovely.
Yeah, although we were brought up on the clangers and things like that, and
it's equally crazy.
Yeah, clanger. Yeah.
Colin at Festa 67 says, "I get that all the time. Folk don't expect me to be 35 with a head full of lustrous locks."
Yeah.
Yeah, I was brought up on Andy Pandy and Muffin the Mule. Not the same time. Yeah.
Totally Scale Model says, "Very good, Fox. I saw what you did there. Brilliant," because I've no idea what I did. I love it when that happens. I say something and I don't realise what I've said.
Bagpuss was scary. Bagpuss just didn't do anything. Bagpuss just slept in the shop window.
Bagpuss was chill out time. 70s kids TV was chill out time.
Yeah. When you had to wait for it to come on. Yeah, there's a test card. First thing in the morning was a test card. There wasn't any morning TV, just a test card.
I remember when I was very young, there was a TV series called Something Something and the Herbs, and it was some animals. They all put little stop motion animated animals. Something about herbs.
Yeah, there was.
Someone will know.
One of them was a lion.
I think it was called the Herbs, was it?
Might have been called the Herbs, and one of them was a lion called Parsley, I think.
Parsley, yeah.
Parsley the lion.
It had a red sort of teardrop shaped nose that looked like it was made out of jam. And I could not do anything but fixate on that And my entire memory of that series is being a little kid and just going on the nose. It's like shiny. The herb garden, says Peter Rogers.
People are saying the herb garden.
Yeah, it's like a little teardrop shaped red nose that looked like.
There was the little onions, weren't there?
I don't remember. I was too busy watching the nose. That's all I remember.
It actually says 70s kids TV was all invented on weed. Yeah, I think they were on a tray.
People talk about Pipkins. Yeah, I remember Pipkins and Hartley Hare.
Yeah, and you used to get the magic roundabout just before the news, didn't you? Just just after Blue Peter, magic roundabout, the news. Yeah, so Mum and Dad could chill out. Dill the dog, or the dog named Dill. I've now got I've Dill the dog. I've a dog called Dill. I've got the comfortable on that weed.
But yeah, literally, I have no memories of the herbs apart from the nose on the line.
Because there was that, and there was Hector's house.
Don't remember Hector's house. I remember it. I just don't remember it. If you know what I mean, I'm aware of it. I'm a very friendly lion called Parsley, says Peter Rogers.
Mark says 1968 to 72. I don't know if that's when the herbs ran, but don't know.
Michael Chapman says the favourite is a kid with tails of a riverbank, a guinea pig in his airplane. Yeah, it was. It was all like hamsters and guinea pigs and things like that. It was more of a Jack Hargreaves type thing, wasn't it? Yeah, that was it. Jack Hargreaves and How and what was Jack Hargreaves used to make something from his shed. He sit in his shed.
Correct, Jack Hargreaves.
Cy Reynolds says the problem is these days kids are raised on Frozen and adults have to suffer the songs being repeated time and time again. The problem is this, Cy, you just need to let it go. Yeah.
Banned. Right. Ted, can you just mute him now, please?
Think about everybody's talking about kids' TV, which is bringing back up the nostalgic memories, and all the songs are going around in my head now.
Yeah, and all that. Well, it's only when we talk about 80s TV, and then there's all the theme tunes that I know that get stuck in my head. So it's just revenge for that. But what people don't realise is that we have these conversations, which are it's all nice and fun until somebody steps on a Lego or comes away from the show feeling really old. Later on, we'll finish the summer all like, oh god, we're all so old.
Clive Crow says things that grew up a bit with the Captain Pugwash. Jack Hargreaves ran out of town. That was it. He'd show you how to whittle sticks and things like that.
Jack Hargreaves.
Powerwolf says anything pre-mid 90s intended for kids was often quite dark. Animals of Farthing Wood for anyone, and Watership Down and.
Stephen Rolfe says there used to be a sci-fi series on BBC that was painted scenes with commentary on it. Hardcore for the time, but I can't remember what it was called. It's not ringing a bell.
Mike Jeffrey says, how did they get guinea pigs and a hamster to stay inside a remote-controlled aircraft?
Super glue.
Yeah. Dave Carboy's got a Skippy earworm. Skippy, the Welsh kangaroo.
He's what, Skip? He's down the mine. He needs our help. But we've got to take the truck as well. Yeah, show us the way, Skip.
And what Skippy's really saying is, no, I want that bit of food you got in your pocket.
Yeah. Bill and Ben and the Flower Pot Men and weed.
That's real. That's Ted's era, that is.
Yeah. Where's the gum? I was a bit scared of Where's the
I hated Where's the Gum. Oh.
Yeah, that was very strange.
That was really spooky, that.
Adam Clark says I had the theme for Whizbit bouncing around my head today for some reason.
Was that the thing with Johnny Ball?
That was the thing with Paul Daniels.
Paul Daniels, that was it. Good God. You're going to like it, not a lot. The Littlest Hobo was better than Skippy, says Spriglet. Word.
Michael Jackman says superglue had not been invented then. It's probably Staples then.
Yeah.
And I've got the Littlest Hobo theme in my head. Maybe tomorrow. Right,
yeah, back to modelling. Before we go across to what's in store, we do have a question that came in from.
Yes, Anders sent us an email, didn't he?
Yeah. We did tell him to remind us later.
Do you want me to summarise it, Ted?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay, basically, simply put, to take a long email and make it short, he sprayed some Ammo Lucky Varnish, the satin varnish. Oh, hang on, start again. He sprayed a satin varnish, not the Lucky varnish. Oh, hang on, I've got the wrong one. Yeah, I got it wrong. He sprayed. Right,
to make a long email just quite as long.
Yeah, to make it not as long, but more just confusing. He did some test sprays, and he used the Ammo Lucky varnish, and when he sprayed it on a test piece, it came out kind of white and not clear. It's the stuff I've got. It's the glossy. I've got it here. It is that's the satin. That's the ultra matte. I've got it here somewhere in there. I've got the Ammo by Meg Lucky varnish. Basically, he sprayed the glossy one on, and it came out white and not clear. And he's basically saying, why did this happen? And the most likely answer with an ammo varnish is, did you follow the instructions on the back to the letter? Because the trick with ammo varnishes is they need to go on in very thin, misty layers, and you need to do the prescribed pressure. It says on the bottle. If I've got the glossy one here, it varies slightly because they've got ultra matte, semi-gloss, they call it satin, and glossy, and they have different PSIs. And the PSI, I'll need my space helmet for this because it's too small. Too damn small.
Yeah, size said it's 18. If you
But it's guessing.
It says 17, but yeah, 17, 18 PSI. The trick with the ammo varnishes is, with many other varnishes, you can either go full bore thick, or you can do a mist coat for grip and then thicker layers. You can't do that with ammo paints or varnishes. Just any of their products, you can't do that. You have to go for misty coats all the way. So I did some tests with them, and I found that you have to, with the matte, satin, and ultra matte, you can do a thin mist coat, give it 30 seconds of air, and do the next coat. It does say on the bottles to give it 5 minutes between. You don't need to, just air dry it for 30 seconds to a minute and go for the next coat. With the glossy, I found you have to do what they say, which is a misty coat, and then maybe not 5 minutes, but give it, air dry it for a bit and give it 2 or 3 minutes, and then do another misty coat, and then build it up really slowly. You can't blap on a thick coat because that's not how Ammo's products work. They have to be done in thin, misty layers, same as the paints. If you do this, if you put the paint on too thick, they can come out shiny and lumpy and have orange peel. If you put the varnishes on too thick, they can come out frosted. The other reason might be if the pressure was too high, especially with matte varnishes, not so much gloss ones, but matte ones. Basically, a gloss varnish is a matte varnish with glossing agents in it. So if you haven't shaken it a lot, or if you're spraying it at too high a pressure, you could be just putting... it might be if you haven't shaken it much, you could be spraying the gloss varnish and just getting lots of matting agent and not actually varnish. You have to shake it a lot and do it in thin, misty layers and build it up slowly. If you just blap it on thickly, it's going to come out like frosted and translucent and things like that. That's why you get frosty messes sometimes with varnishes.
Yeah, as we say with AK sort of products and things like that, you find that the Facebook groups and things like that are full of people saying, I've sprayed this on and it's horrible stuff, it's the worst thing I've ever had. And it's just because they're not using it right, because it's not thin, misty coats. So,
Anders says, he does say, yes, several thin layers, 15 psi, minutes of dry between layers. It could have just been then, if you've done it that way, it may have well then just been perhaps, was it particularly humid? I doubt it. But was it particularly humid? Or did you shake the living crap out of the bottle for a while before you did it? It could be humidity that can frost them up. It could be potentially water in the airline, but highly unlikely because you get a different result with that. It could just be even just a ropey bottle of varnish. It might be. It's not impossible.
Sergeant Bourne says a light misting of thinner will uncloud it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Usually, he says, usually.
Yeah. Or, you know, just because I've often found with a matte varnish, if I go too high pressure with a matte varnish, it comes out frosted. A quick blast of a gloss varnish over the top sometimes can just quite reactivate it.
I must admit, I'm having trouble reading the chat because Spruglu's been typing out the entirety of the theme tune for Littlest Hobo.
He's been typing the lyrics. I wonder what that was. Until tomorrow, I'll just move it. I'm not going to sing it because of copyright, but yes.
Right. Right. Should we do a what's in store? Everybody would ready for what's in store now. It's really, and it's quite a good one as well. It's been quite topical so far.
You'd say it was a good one because you're doing it.
Yeah, and I lock it on me.
Okay, we haven't seen it yet, so we're
yeah. You guys, yeah.
We can answer then. We can type in the chat and
yeah, you can have a go yourself if you want because you haven't seen it. Yeah. Right, we're going to go across and have a go at what's in store, and
don't forget to like you, Ted.
Yeah, I haven't locked it on me yet because I'm not ready yet.
Okay.
Well, we're ready. We're waiting for you.
Yeah, we're sitting here. We're just going to sit and look at you until you do it.
Yeah, well, shut up then. Right, we're going to do a what's in store. I remember all the items of what I picked from what's in store have a little link between them. It's more of a, I think will be quite easy this week if you think about what's been topical in tonight's conversation and what's been topical on the Facebook pages and things like that you all visit the past week or so. And at the end of it, when I say go, it's your chance to answer. If you give an answer before I've said go, you don't win.
Foxx hasn't done his rotate and twist or whatever it is.
yeah. And at the end of it, you can win a big Mr. E sticker.
Yes,
you can win a sticker. Yeah,
not a mystery sticker. It's one of them.
Yeah. A Mr. E sticker.
Yeah. So don't forget, by this point, there's always a lag between the video and the chat. So before Ted does his thing, remember to refresh your browser window and drag the slider, or the other way. The other way.
Yeah.
Drag.
Yeah.
Refresh and drag. Then you'll be up to date. Then have a better chance of winning.
Right. So do you think they've all refreshed and dragged now?
Nope. They'll be refreshing and dragging.
Yeah, right. It's locked on me, and I'll leave it up to you guys to keep an eye on the chat.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, Sergeant Bones says, so don't forget to slap it in your basket, but it's not yours till you check it out.
Not yours.
It's not yours till you pay for it.
And I checked all these items just before we went on air, and they were still in stock by then, but they may not always be in stock, or we don't know how many they've got. So slap it in your basket.
Yeah, if something tickles your fancy, don't sit there thinking about it, because by the time you get round to it, somebody else will have bought it if they've only got 2 in stock. So
yeah, I think somebody in chat tonight says that they're interested in ships and things like that. So this what's in store is dedicated to you.
I like
someone's going to be buying the third thing, aren't they? Yeah. Someone's going to be buying the third item as well.
Yeah.
Mark says he's refreshed, but it doesn't look right in a dress.
Right. Hopefully everybody can see that. The first item this evening is the 1/350 scale model, the Tamiya model of the Prince of Wales, HMS Prince of Wales, 5399. I don't know if there's any pictures of it. No. Once again, some of these kits are quite big. This one,
350, so it's going to be a good 2 or 3 foot long.
Yeah.
I'll guess. Just a random guess.
Yeah, so what's in the box is that I thought there were some pictures of this one. It must have been another one. I think there's a few versions of each of these.
Kenneth says, wait, please, I'm on dial-up and it takes ages to refresh. He's also in Australia, so sort of upside down.
Yeah. HMS Prince of Wales, one of the battle cruisers from Royal Navy, Second World War. Prince of Wales, was that sunk off Singapore?
Wasn't that one that was taken out when he was trying to sink the Bismarck? Or Tirpitz?
No, that was a hood, wasn't it? The hood.
Yeah, that was the hood, wasn't it?
Yeah. Prince of Wales. I think this was sunk off Singapore. I'm not sure. I know it's in shallow water, and if you fly over it, apparently you can see it. So. Right, that's not much more to say about this one. Tamiya 1/3.
Osric 9000 says yes, Ted.
Good. Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah.
And Zadster comes up with the comment of the night. He says, "I always got the theme tune from Emmerdale and the $6 Million Man confused with each other." And now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I can see that.
Right, we go over to the next one, which is the Revell Catalina Consolidated PBY.
I know what the theme is.
Yeah, this is the Catalina. This is showing as the American version. I don't think it was Americans that actually flew this at the time that I'm looking for, but it was the only Catalina I could find, and it actually looks quite a nice model. There's one or two pictures of it here.
I don't know what the theme is.
It'll become apparent, don't worry.
I'm incredibly stupid. It probably won't.
Yeah. Yeah, some aerial lines there. Some nice easy line. So yeah, it's Catalina. Some nice for Revell. I don't know if anybody's ever built this one out there. It could tell us what it's like. I'm not really an aircraft fan, so I don't know particularly one aircraft from another.
But a lot of rivets there.
Yeah, a lot of rivets.
Michael Jackman says the HMS Prince of Wales, the first modern battleship, sunk right aircraft whilst underway.
Could be it then. Catalina. I've seen one of these in real life, not perhaps this one. These are long-range reconnaissance aircraft, also rescue aircraft for downed airmen and such. But this one played a significant part, or not this particular one, but Catalina played a significant part in the link that we're looking for. Yep, the observation. I think they've looks like got guns behind there. I think most of them were observation decks. So some nice detail for Revell, level 4.
That could be improved with some weathering, like they haven't done.
Yes. Oh.
That would look much better if they put some weathering on it. My point about weathering is just demonstrated there.
Yeah, that's ideal. Where are you coming? Give 2 pictures of that. Right. Yeah, so there's the consolidated PBY-5A Catalina.
Carl at Make a Model says he's built the 148th Catalina. It's a big boat. So yeah, even as 172nd, it's going to be a big kit, that. Yeah,
it's going to be quite significant. So $26.99. Right, this one, we might be getting a bit closer to giving you a clue what we're all about tonight. This is the Trumpeter 1700 Ark Royal, one of the famous boats from the Second World War. I think this was sunk as well, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Royal took a hit and went to the bottom.
I know there was another version of it.
Come through a plane.
Something on the Ark Royal once, but I'm guessing it wasn't that one.
Detail. Paint reference colours. Is this? Yeah, this is a Trumpeter one. So yeah, it's going to be lots of detail. That's I thought I recognised the colour call outs at the top there. Some decals. Looks like the deck decals there for the lifts and such, and all the aircraft markings.
Michael Jackman says HMS Prince of Wales in Battle of Denmark straight against the Bismarck.
Oh,
probably why I got confused and thought it was sunk by the Bismarck. I think it was involved in the battle, maybe.
Yeah.
Lord Barkley says the first Ark Royal was around about 1700, so that's not the first Ark Royal.
Yeah. So yeah, the first Ark Royal was ship of the line.
Ellsworth 9000 says the Ark Royal was sunk by a U-boat in the Mediterranean.
That could, yep, that's it. I thought I'd seen pictures of it listing to one side just before we went to the bottom. Yeah, see, these people know more than we do, don't they?
Michael Jackman says the HMS Ark Royal aircraft torpedo Bismarck.
Knowing more than us isn't really a challenge.
Yeah.
Right, lots of parts of there. Being a trumpeter kit. Yeah, you see, yeah, these guys in chat, not more about us. And there's lots of information right there down in the description. I'm not going to read it out. If you want to go and have a look. Go and have a look at item number 06713 on the eModels website.
Blue says his local is called the Prince of Wales.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, that was the third one, so that's the one that someone's got to buy, isn't it?
Yes, this is the third one. So, yep, get your order.
Whatever that was, you've got to buy that one.
It's quite cheap as well, 36 quid. Yep, slap it in your basket.
Yep. Unless you buy 3, in which case, buy whichever 3 you want.
Check it out. Right, and the next one is another ship. This is the King George V. Once again, by Tamiya. That and the Prince of Wales, 2 different sizes, 1700, one's 1350.
Is that one of their Waterline series kits? Does it not say?
Looking at that.
It says box.
Doesn't say, yes, it says on the box, Waterline series.
Yeah. Tamiya do a range of Waterline. I can never remember if it's just designed with the Waterline hull or whether you can have an option. I never know if it's sure. if you get both, or if it's waterline.
It says waterline series. It's just going to be the one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a waterline kit. You don't get the full hull.
I think that the ships in the Second World War and up to maybe the 60s, 70s looked a lot like battleships. You know, if you were a kid at school and you were asked to draw a battleship, this is something that you draw on it. It'll have lots of guns on it.
Yeah, bristling turrets and
turrets, lots of guns all over and anti-aircraft defences and things like that. And I like these ships because they had wooden decks. Are fantastic. It takes the greyness away from it. It gives it a bit of colour, a bit of life.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
When I eventually do get round to do my space battleship Yamato, it's going to have wooden decks, even though it makes no sense at all. It's going to have wooden decks because it looks much better than just grey metal decks.
Yeah, it just gives that nice colour to it. No, but if you were a part of the crew that's having to scrub the decks day in day out, yeah, probably you wouldn't like wooden decks.
And when I was a little kid, I used to draw battleships and things. The trick was you've got to draw the whole shape carefully, but all the superstructure above the deck is just tubes and circles. Just draw lots of tubes and circles, and it'll come up looking like a battleship. It's brilliant.
That's all it is. You'll find that if you break a ship down, that frigate that you've seen me that I scratch built, when you break it down into sections, each of these sections that I'm showing you here, all the superstructure, there's a big lozenge type shape just in there for the lower superstructure. There's another lozenge shape there for the start of the bridge. A smaller one as you go up. The turrets are two ovals. Sorry, the turrets are
tubes and circles and
funnels. Yeah, tubes. Yeah, that's all you need, and you just build it up, and in the end, you've got a battleship.
It's basically a hull covered in greebles. It's just a big load of greebles.
But that's it. That's the King George V. And finally, the one that
Mark Dale says, "Cool, number 3. I've always fancied a ship, and this will make me get out of my comfort zone." Good choice, Ted.
Yeah. Vincent points out to me that my space battleship Yamato actually has wooden deck detail for me to paint. I had noticed that, Vincent, but a lot of times it's painted grey, but I'm going to paint it wood because
finally, this one will probably give it away. This is the Tamiya 148 Fairy Swordfish. The fairy.
the fairly swordfish.
Fairy Swordfish. This isn't the torpedo bomber. This looks like it's equipped with rockets. Whether there are any options in the kit for a torpedo bomber, I'm not sure.
It's a nice looking plane, that.
But there's that version there, and if you want to wire it all up, that's
what scale was that? 148. I see it there now.
Folded wings. So this is the naval version.
That's just says it's a fairly fairy swordfish.
Fairly swordfish.
It's very nice.
Fairy swordfish. Yeah.
I like it folded up. That's nice.
It looks nice folded up. Takes a lot of space on the shelf.
Oh yeah. But I do say, I mean, I've actually been sent a few biplanes now, so I've got a few biplanes in my stash to make. I do like biplanes. I will make some biplanes at some point.
Yeah. I think the secret of this, whether it's included in the kit, apparently Easy Line is the way to go for doing all the rigging. But I'm not sure. I've never built one.
No, I mean, I've got a few to do. When I do mine, I'm going to use some Easy Line. Now, just to point out to people who've mentioned about Easy Line in the past and asked me where they can get it, Easy Line is not something that eModels currently stock. A lot of places don't stock it, but they do have the ammo. Is it Ammo by Meg?
I'm just trying to look for mine here.
Ammo by Meg have a rigging material which is basically the same as Easy Line. It's a rubber thread that stretches. So if you're looking to get some, you can't get actual Easy Line, but you can get the ammo stuff, which Ted will show you later when he's finished.
Yeah, I found it now. Yeah, so you can use that. Right, so this is quite a detailed assembly kit, model of a Fairy Swordfish Mark II. Features specific to the Mark II, such as a metal lower wing, large oil cooler, accurate reproduce. Once again, if you want to have a look, go and have a look at item hashtag 61099.
For some reason in my head, it's got features exclusive to the Mark II, like lasers in the 40-watt range, tactical nuclear warheads.
And still a very cool pilot.
Yes, but it's a nice looking biplane there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I think we've seen this one once before and what's in store.
Not that specific kit, but I think we've done the Swordfish a few times. But it's
I-
just
I
it's
would be a little
it's an iconic plane.
I'd be a little bit worried about flying in a plane like that, knowing that the wings fold back like that.
If I remember rightly, and I could be wrong here, but if I remember rightly, was the reason that they still had biplanes on some of the aircraft carriers and ship-launched planes, is it because they could take off in a shorter distance than fixed-wing, mono-wing planes?
It would make sense that that was true.
Because like, you know, when the ferry Swordfish was around, kind of biplanes weren't a thing anymore.
Yeah.
There must have been a reason why a lot of ship-borne planes were biplanes.
I remember there was a program on a few weeks ago about the development of landing aircraft on a ship, and yeah, of course at the time they were all flying biplanes. And the very first landing, the guy hovered, flew his aircraft over the deck so slow that one of his oppos ran across the deck and grabbed it and pulled it off the deck.
Maybe that's just something you could do with biplanes then.
Yeah, I think probably the stall speed was so slow that they could just land.
Yeah. Pete Rogers says biplanes are harder than helicopters.
Oh yeah,
I've got some hard helicopters in my time.
Lord Barkley says it'd go faster when the wings are folded back. Yeah, it'd go faster in one direction.
Yeah, as long as it's not like a Revell kit and when you try to draw the wings back and fall off. That's what's in store. So I'll stop sharing. I'll come back to me, and we'll look it off me. And now, if you think, I have to find the chat first, so I can see.
Get your chat ready, Ted.
Get the chat ready. So, if you think you know what the link is, now's your time to go.
You know when I don't know what it was.
Well, I think I do know actually.
I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking for a specific event.
I stopped reading a lot of the chat out because I think it was kind of giving it away. If I'm right, I could be wrong.
Yeah, Jamie Bourne. Jamie Bourne says there it's sink the Bismarck. I know that Anders says the Bismarck hunt, but the actual event that I was looking for was sink the Bismarck. Yeah, all the vehicles, all the ships there were involved in the hunt and the eventual sinking of the Bismarck.
Cool.
Yeah,
so I started to tumble because I didn't know what it was, and started to tumble to it, and that's when I was reading out the thing saying, "Oh yeah, such and such says that sank the Bismarck as well," and this one was involved in that. And I'm thinking that could be the
So well done, Jamie. Yeah, you're the first one to come up with the actual event that I was looking for.
Yep. So I know email to Ted at eModels.co.uk with your name and address, and just say you want a big sticker, and we'll get one out to you.
Yeah, great. So, and now, as we said before, we don't know how many of those items are still in stock. So, if you want one, slap it in your basket and check it out. The Prince of Wales wasn't involved in the sinking. No, she was involved in the chase at the start. So the Catalina was actually involved in the locating of the Bismarck after she shook off the Prince of Wales and the Resolution, I think. She shook them off, and the Catalina found it again.
A Totally Skull Model says, Ted, I was the first. I thought, keep in mind, guys, that when you see yourself in chat, you'll always see your comment first because you're seeing your comment as you type it. We see the chat in the order that YouTube actually receives your comments. So if I type a thing in chat now, it appears instantly on my screen, but it might be another 30 seconds before it actually appears in someone else's chat. So, yeah, we see the chat differently to you guys.
If you want to watch back the video with the chat enabled, you'll see the chat in the order in which we're seeing it live now. So,
yep. So it levels the playing field a bit because everybody can type really fast, but you might take you 3 seconds faster to get to YouTube or something else. So. Yeah, which means if Kenneth's in Australia, we'll get his answer in about 2 weeks.
Yeah. What we have to do, we have to mail the questions to Kenneth 2 weeks in advance so he could get a chance to take part tonight. Right.
So should we do some stickers and some?
Before we move on, EasyLine. The Ammo of MiG EasyLine version rigging. This is 0.2, and it's very fine. It's like hair. Can you see it?
Wait,
No, you can't.
We can't see it.
Can't see it. Can't see it. It's too fine. So there's a meter on there. So that's what I'm going to try and use for the submarine. So we'll see if that works. Right. What next? A mug?
Do you want to do a mug or a sticker?
Double stickers?
Yeah, we'll do double stickers.
Double stickers.
There's a big sticker.
Sticker.
Yeah, right. I've got a question for that as well.
I've got my example sticker set up. I've got one somewhere, but I don't think I've got it here. No, I've only got the wrapped and not untouched and not opened yet stickers.
Yeah. You might be able to see mine in my booth, but I don't know if you can on that camera.
Upside down. They sent me the stickers. They sent me the upside down printed one. Sorry.
Right.
Have we got a question?
Right. Right. Yeah, I've got a question.
Is this for sticker?
For stickers.
For two stickers.
Yeah, like before, over the last couple of months, we're doing it. You'll get one of each. We're just doing one, but whoever wins it will get one of each.
Yeah. It might
ask any questions.
You might already know the answer to this. Need to Google it. So it's probably the fastest figure that wins. Going back to what's in store and what's been topic of the discussions this week. What date was the Bismarck sunk?
Thursday.
Yeah, I don't need the year, just
after tea.
Yeah, the date.
Now this is all over to you because I don't know, Ted. So
yeah, I've got no idea.
Yeah,
I don't think it was 42, like Sergeant Bones said, though.
It was a Tuesday
after lunch.
Not the year, the date.
44.
I want the number of day and the month. Nearly.
People are putting in answers of days and months, but I don't know if they're right.
May 27th was the answer. The morning of Tuesday, the 27th of May, was brought like heavy grey sky.
Yay.
27th of May, according to Google, according to what I've got here, 27th of May, 1941. So, yeah, this is Ericsson. Let's have your address and we'll get some double stickers off to you.
Sorry, it's interesting.
I spoke over Ted then, so it's Anders Ericsson that got that. So well
yeah.
done.
I think it's interesting the selection of dates that we're getting, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got 27th, 28th, and 29th of May, also February the 30th, which might not be true.
Yeah.
Lord Barkley says, not fair, I wasn't there.
If you don't know and you couldn't guess, it's worth having a guess, though, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. An event in naval history. But
I didn't do my fact of today's date, but we'll do that in a bit.
I was going to remind you about that later.
Yes.
No, we've got one more giveaway.
We have a mug.
We have a mug,
mugs to give away.
Yeah, we've still got these are still the season series 2 mugs.
Right, I think.
Do we have another question?
Yeah, we've got one from James Humphreys. Also, a warship question.
Wow, we're on a very maritime theme tonight. Not marital theme. That's a whole different thing. We're not talking about that.
Yeah, we come here to get away from marital things and what's it's our escape, isn't it, guys?
Yes, I want you to do this question, Ted, because I want to see how you pronounce the actual answer.
Yeah, I know this one.
Okay, we'll see.
Right. This is a question from James Humphreys. Thank you, James, for your question. Ostrich 9000. Very young Ostrich 9000, by the way. Yeah.
Now remember, we assume the answer we're given on emails are correct. We don't do any checking.
Yeah.
We're assuming this is correct.
Yeah. He says, what was the largest German warship to survive World War II? Go.
No.
What was the largest, according to Ostrich 9000, what was the largest German warship to survive World War II?
Marmite.
Spring Goose says first left straight over the island, then it's third exit at the next island. You can't miss it.
Sergeant Bronze, there we go. Says the Prince Eugen.
Oh, good girl.
Yeah, Prince Eugen.
Prince Eugen, yeah. That's his listing. Well done, Sergeant Bones. Email to ted@emodels.co.uk. Tell him you won and mug.
And
Now,
more.
with the stickers, we send those out eventually.
Mhm.
Ted and I live 8 billion nautical miles from post offices, so we tend to pile them up to the end of the month. I've got my own stickers to send out. I've got tons of them. But with the mugs, we send that off to the chaps at eModels, and they then get them off to you. So we'll, if you mail ted@emodels.co.uk and say you want a mug, and we'll send that on to James, mate, and Pete, mate, and they'll get a mug on the way to you.
Good, well done. We got one more giveaway to do, haven't we, today?
We have, yes, we have the giveaway from last week. Do you want to look it on me?
Yeah, I'll look it on you. Yeah, I have got.
I've just realised I haven't actually set up the. Hang on, don't look it on me yet.
We told you to do this ages ago. We said
I did everything except get the bit I needed. So if you take it off me, because I've got to go and do searching now.
No, we'll leave it on you and we'll just look at you until you're done.
Let's have a look. eModel.
Did
YouTube. Where's the YouTube? eModels YouTube. I can't find it.
guess one joke.
That's chat. I didn't want that. Yes, last week we asked you to put a comment on the show. Which remember what the comment was now.
It's something about policemen, wasn't it?
We did actually do a comment. Can't remember what the heck it was, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what the comment was.
It was your best policeman joke or something like that, wasn't it?
It was something like that. Yeah, best copper joke. Let's just see. I'll just maximize. Is it locked on me now? I've got you screen sharing. I shall do the screen sharing. Sharing screen now. So we have the. Is it sharing? Oh, I've got the wrong thing open.
No.
Right. Can you see? Yes. The goodness?
Yep.
Yes. Now.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So we asked you to put a comment down. We had about 23 comments earlier on, so clearly a lot of you forgot and did it while we're having the show going. Well done. It's all carries. You've got the comment. So we've got 34 comments on there. If the Energizer Bunny were arrested, would he be charged with battery? Says Anders Ottison.
Yeah, some of these jokes were pretty bad.
Yeah.
Phil Lewis said, "I'm not as think as you drunk Armosifer." Lord Barkley III says, "Yes, officer, I did see the sign. I just didn't see you behind the other sign."
Not that we'd do that.
Let's have a look. Sergeant Bones says, "Policeman's cat is loud, but the perfect support animal." Right, I'll get the cat.
Oh, yeah, there was a cat last week, wasn't there?
Yeah. Red Lens says, "If you're being chased by a police dog, try not to go through a tunnel and then over a little seesaw, then jump through a hoop of fire. They're trained for that."
Yeah.
I like the one by Smudge Williams there, actually.
You'll have to read that one to me if you've got it.
You've just moved the screen.
In England, the police don't have a gun and you don't have a gun. If you commit a crime, the police will play stop or I'll say stop again. Robin Williams.
Yeah, stop running. It's surprising the people that do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don Henkhouse asks, "Why was the detective at the beach?" There was a crime wave. Yeah. David Fox said the bill started out as Wooden Tops. Yes, the first episode was called Wooden Top.
Yeah, it was.
And it started with Jim. What's his name? Jim. I've forgotten his surname. Jim Carver was the first person you saw in the bill, in the first episode of the bill, because I watched every single episode of the bill about 2 years ago. I binged it, all 3,000 of them. Jim Carver was the first person you saw in the first episode of the bill. And it started with an alarm clock going off at 6 a.m. Just, I know all these things because I'm an idiot. I watched 3,000 episodes of the bill in about 6 months. I gave up about 1993 because it turned into a soap opera and it was rubbish. Anyway, yes, so we've got 34 comments. So I'm just going to refresh the page quickly to make sure nobody else has commented while we've been showing that. I'll just put that on pause. Okay, right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the URL for the video. I'm going to go into, we were playing for the Messerschmitt 172nd Messerschmitt ME262B1A. It's not the normal Messerschmitt 262. It's the one with the funky cockpit Gefahrten.
Yeah, we discussed this, didn't we? We said it was a night fighter, and it was the twin-seat night fighter.
It's got the funky Longen Cockpit and Gefahrten canopy with the seeing unser Frame. Yeah, das ist richtig. Because you think propellers at the front, like a bubble canopy, but this has got all the frame on it and everything. So looks mint. Yeah. I like that. It's got a real kind of. It's just got this kind of real. If you watch The Man in the High Castle, if anybody watches The Man in the High Castle, the design sort of cues that they use for.
Yeah, I think you could see how we pinched the technology after the Germans with our Gloster Meteor. It just looks a little bit like that, doesn't it?
Yeah. But you can see, especially with Man in the High Castle, that kind of 1960s Nazi America. It's that kind of design cues. You can see it, and that kind of picture works for me. Anyway, that's what you're up prize for this week. So we're going to take the URL. I've got it there. Copy and paste on the loudest keyboard in the world. We're going to paste it into the random YouTube website thing. We're going to load the comments. Is everybody ready?
Where's the girl gone?
Pick a winner at random. Say again?
There's normally a girl on the side of your picture. There's
no girl with the hair everywhere. She's gone, thankfully. I think she does like a website about beauty, music, and colours, apparently. But she's one of the few ones that's actually got random YouTube comment picker, so she probably gets loads of traffic through this. Anyway, let's pick a random comment. Ready? Give me a countdown, girls.
100, 99, 98, 97. No, I'm not going to do that.
Tune in next week.
Right. Press the button.
Press the button. Osric 9000. Good morning. There we go. So Osric 9000.
Yeah.
Well done. You have won yourself the World War II German space plane. It's not space plane.
Good. Yeah.
Messerschmitt Me262B1A. So all you need to do is, while you're mailing us about the other stuff, which you've probably already done, drop us a mail. I nearly said Foxx at eModels there. Ted at eModels.co.uk, and tell us that you won the Messerschmitt Me262 hashtag 04062, and we'll forward that on to James Mate, and James Mate will put it in a, well, he won't. He'll get old John to put it in a box with a sticker and a lot of love and kisses and hopes and wishes and dreams, and it'll get the box sent to you.
Yeah.
Yay.
So obviously include your name and address in the email, because it would be dumb if you didn't.
Tiger Tank 2 does say, where the heck do you put these comments in? There isn't a competition this week, but next time we do one, we'll tell you. But basically, it's once the video is finished streaming and is just available on YouTube as a video, like that one.
Yep.
At the bottom of it, it'll be a bit that says comment.
Come on.
Yep. When we finish a live stream, after about 10 minutes, it just becomes our normal video on the eModels channel.
Yeah.
There is actually an entire playlist for those that don't know. A lot of people don't know about playlists, but I'm a real playlist Nazi. I put everything in playlists, and me and Ted and Chris manage the YouTube channel for eModels. So if ever you want to find something, look at playlists. You can guarantee there's a playlist for whatever you're looking at. For each build we do, like the Striker or the MRAP or the U-boat or the Eagle Transporter, there's a playlist. So you can see all the videos from each one. And same for the live stream, there's a playlist. So if you miss it and you have to go and watch it the next day and you know where it is, it's not the front page, go and look for the playlist.
Yeah.
Wait till it's video.
The reason we do it that way is because we know that everybody can't get in on a Monday night to watch because they're at work or they're doing other things, or they live in a different time zone.
There you go. Can I lock it from me now, Ted, if you would, dude?
There we go. Yeah, they might live in a different time zone, so they'll watch the show a little bit later on. And we think that if we do it this way, that everybody that watches the show gets a chance to take part in a giveaway.
Yeah. So whereas the stickers and the mugs are like for people in the chat, that's the sticker and the mug is the reward for the people in the chat watching it live to have a chance to win something fun. But the proper giveaways, we do that like the next week. So we don't do it every week. We just do it usually once every other week or something like that. Every now and then we'll do a giveaway, and it's a way to reward everybody, not just the people who watch it live.
Yeah. Zad says he's holding out for a free P&P offer from eModels. Well, you never know what's going to happen on the show, because Pete came in the other week, didn't he? He came into the chat and he said a discount code for everybody in chat. So
Michael Jackman says, sorry, got to go. Got to chase one of the cats with the tiger tank. Is being a nuisance. Have fun.
Yeah, I've just heard the door over here click.
Yeah, we want model making cat, but you need to hold model making. Oh, I've just realised somebody mentioned something. Somebody mentioned puffins.
I did say
Odo and Guthorm.
Mine's about there.
I forgot Odo and Guthorm. Mine don't live on the desk there, you see, because they get in the way, so they come in. Sometimes Pete Mate, for those that don't know, Pete Mate is the governor. He's the big boss. Ted, Chris, and I don't work for eModels. We're not employed by eModels. I'm sponsored by them, but these guys are. But, we don't work for eModels. We do this out of the goodness of our hearts. And sometimes the big boss, Pete Mate, well, we say that it's Mrs. Pete Mate that's the real big boss. Sure. So when Pete Mate is allowed to by Mrs. Pete Mate, sometimes he comes in the chat secretly. He doesn't come in. It doesn't say Pete Mate, the big boss of eModels, under there. It doesn't say any of that. So you won't know when he's in. Although sometimes he does come in and it's dead obvious because he says, hello, I'm Pete. then all the subterfuge is gone. But you might send us a text, or you might say in chat saying free shipping if you go and buy something now, or you might put a discount code in for the duration of the live stream or something like that. So it's always worth watching, and you might do it right at the end of the live stream. We might be saying, have we done it before where we've been saying goodbye and they've put a thing in chat saying, quick, this is our price.
It might happen now.
Yeah, because he might be in his kitchen, watch it on his 400-inch TV in the kitchen. He's got like a video wall.
It might.
Although he might just be like doing cover versions on his keyboard.
Yeah, Paul Wolf 1097-M- says, I see there's a physical store, eModels Warehouse. Very cool, appreciated physical model shops a lot these days, especially now that Models Money's gone. eModels work primarily as an online supplier. They do, yes, they do have a shop counter, but it's very small. If you're aware of if you're in the UK, you might be aware of Screwfix or something like that, some other type of warehouse type shopping, where you just go to a counter, pick out of a catalogue, you go to the counter, Argos, something like that. Everything's upstairs or behind the scenes. That's what eModels is like. If you turn up at eModels, you can't browse around the store.
They get cross if you browse their shelves because it means you're broken in and stuck around the back.
Yeah, it's basically a working warehouse.
Yeah.
You are welcome to pop in anytime, basically, that they're open. They're open as a trade counter. So you can go in. Ideally, what you do is you go in and you know what you're ordering and say, I'd like this, 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 and this, please. Or what you can do, you can place an order, place an order on the website, and actually there's an option to say, I'll collect it in store. And you can, if you live around the Stoke area, you can just pop in. And if you spent a lot of money, then, James might make you a brew. Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, that's it. If you like us and happen to get behind the counter to go around the shelves, you get given a pan full of boxes. Oh, while you're up there, can you put these away for us?
Yeah, we do go and because all three of us do builds for eModels, and there's Andy, there's Nevbo, and Gundam UK as well, and Simon doing builds, and we all drop our models off because all the models we do for eModels we don't get to keep. We have to give them back. So we drop them off and we go and hang out. And the idea is that we hang out and we get loads of free coffees and stuff, and then we get our next eModels builds. But what actually happens is we go in and we get sequestered into putting things on shelves. Yeah.
Yeah, we are planning another trip there in the near future. So if you're planning to have a drive across the Stoke, we'll let you know where we're going. You can bring all your pennies with you and you can walk away out the shop with
lots of them. Well, let's not get too easy because I've got an entire Millennium Falcon to build yet, and that's going to be at least a couple of months away.
Yeah, well, you've got a submarine to build, so you're building a submarine. I should hopefully have my submarine finished within the next few weeks. I'm going to have it go tomorrow, actually.
Because when you finish your sub, you haven't really got anywhere to store it, have you? So.
I can't pick Foxx up, so I can't fit the U-boat in, so there'll be just me and Chris. Foxx will have to walk.
Osric 9000 says, if you have a coffee there, do they let you keep the mug? You haven't seen the mugs, you won't want to keep them.
Yeah.
Make you a brew. They don't necessarily wash the mug beforehand. It's up to you to do that.
Paul says Chris was only suggested into putting stuff on the really low shelves. Thanks, Paul.
Dad says, yay, donut days. Whenever Dad goes to the store, because like sometimes like me and Ted have gone down, and Dad and Chris and everybody else, and Dad goes as well because Dad doesn't live far from me. Whenever Dad goes, he brings like a box of donuts.
So that's we just go for our donut fix.
Mark Dell says, got to go now, chaps. Great show. See you all soon.
Yeah, we're coming to the end. We're about to wrap up now.
Did Foxx do his thing yet?
No. You know what I did? I actually closed it down as well because I'm a spoon. Because I closed everything else down. And I had let me find it.
I've got to remember. Did I remind you? It's time.
I always forget to do this at the start, but I decided to start each show with the fact of today in history, and then I forgot to do it every single damn time. In fact, I've got it open. I just open on a different place. I just remembered. It's open on my iPad. Yes, so today in history. Today in history, on today's date.
Is it nautical?
No.
Oh.
Is it naughty?
No. It's 1797. Today in 1797. Colonel William Tate and his force of 1,000 to 1,500 soldiers surrendered after the last invasion of Britain. According to legend, they surrendered to Welsh women in tall black hats because they were mistaken for the elite guards regiment.
Oh.
There you
Uh,
go. So always check when you're surrendering your army, whether you're surrendering to an army or just 17th century Welsh ladies with big tall black hats.
So half a dozen Welsh ladies have now got 1,000 soldiers thinking,
what are we going to do with these?
Well, thanks to those lovely ladies, that was the last ever invasion of Britain.
Yay.
Yeah,
the Welsh.
Yeah, mind you, I'd never argue with a Welsh lady.
No, that would be the last thing you ever did.
Dave Cardboard's saying we can't go yet because we haven't discussed food yet.
Yeah, we have been quite serious tonight, haven't we? We've done a lot.
Yeah, the modelling stuff and things. I don't know where that goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to do better next week.
Well, we talked about my free curries, didn't we?
No, a little bit, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, we briefly touched on curries right at the start. Yeah, we're standards are slipping around here. Yeah, right. Anyway, I think it's about time we wrapped up anyway, so go get some more gin and
gin. I'm going to find some more curry. There's curry somewhere.
Apparently, Jaws 4 is on ITV at the moment, so
oh really?
Catch it. I don't know how. Right.
Anders Ericsson says, "Wish me lucky with my varnish."
Oh yeah, have a go. Let us know how you get on.
I can't remember. It should have a little stirring bowl in it, but if you've got a little glass or stainless steel bowls, put something in it just to rattle around, just to make sure it's properly shaken.
Yeah, shake, not stir. Right. Anyway, time to wrap up for another week from the eModels live stream. I forgot where we were then. Fact, Jimmy Bond says, fact, Steve Irwin was 57 last Thursday, or it would have been.
Yes, there was a Google Doodle, was Steve Irwin. Crikey. Crocodile.
Right. A lot of people are nipping off now, going to bed, things like that. So it's probably about time that we did our good nights and went to bed ourselves after night, things like that. So, yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for dropping in. We'll see you all, hopefully. Go to bed. We'll see you all next week again on a Monday night, 9 o'clock. And we'll see what happens then. But once again, thanks for joining in. It's been a great night. And thanks for your chat. And we'll see you all next week. Thank you very much.
Adios, amigos.
Bye.
It's